Welcome to the channel. This is a Wazroom. I wanted to do a response video to 8-Bit Boy UK's 5 Master System games to look for if you're starting to collect for the Master System. Firstly, you got to consider which console are you going to get. You're going to get the original or the Model 2. The Model 2 has RF out only. It has a nice flip-top lid, but it doesn't have a card slot. So the card games and the 3D games are unplayable with the Model 2. The original, you've got a slot for the card games or the 3D glass adapter, and you have an AV out as well as RF. And so this is the one to look for. This one comes with either Snail Maze or Alex Kidd in Wonderland built in. And the Model 2 has Alex Kidd in Miracle World built in as well. But on to just a few games. These are just fairly common games and games that aren't that too expensive to pick up. Loose, they can be found for around $15, and complete in box between that $15 to $25 range. The first game I want to talk about is Choplifter. This is based off of the arcade game and is the closest port to the arcade at the time. There's several different zones. You're in a helicopter. You go and pick up passengers from buildings. Try not to get shot down by tanks, jets, or ICBMs. And you try to pick up 40 guys per level and take them back to base without crashing. If you crash and die too many times, well, you got 3 guys, game over. But you can also lose by killing too many guys, because you got to get those 40 guys to complete each level. But this can be had for about $10 loose and $20 complete in box. Another one is Ghostbusters. The first level in Ghostbusters is really fun. You go around a grid collecting ghosts. And then the second phase, you're trying to get past Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. The third phase is really difficult. You're trying to climb up some stairs. But in this version, you can shoot straight in front of you or up at an angle, and there are a variety of ghosts that try to stop you as you're trying to climb the stairs. And then you get to the top and fight Gorza. I know it's not right, but she's called Gorza. But Ghostbusters Loose can be had for about $15 and $22 complete in box. 8-Bit Boy included this one on his list. I tried to not pick any that he had talked about, but I think this one is pretty much like a must-buy for Master System owners and people who are looking to get into the Master System. But this is Outrun. Based off the arcade game, you're trying to get from point A to point B to C to D to E to F. But there's varying branches that you can take to get to the end, but you got to make it to each checkpoint in time. It's a tough game. It's a lot of fun though. It has really good music. This one can be had for around $11 loose and about $18 complete in box. But it's a really fun game, and this is probably if I had to pick one out of these 5, this would be the game I would pick. Next one is Rocky. Yes, based on the movies. First round, you fight Apollo, then you fight Mr. T, and his name just eluded me, and then you fight Drago. And there's training missions in between. It takes a while to get used to the controls for this. There are some... when I first started playing it, I was like, I don't have any control over this character, I don't understand. But after you play, you start to gain an understanding of how the controls work, moving left and right, and timing your punches and everything. And I think it's a really fun game now, and one I would recommend picking up. It's about $11.50 loose, $15.50 complete in box, but it's a really fun game, and you can play 2 players. And the last of the 5 is Zillion. Zillion is compared to like a Metroid style game. You've got your character, you're running through the world, trying to unlock doors using certain keys you pick up. You can pick up power-ups to make your gun stronger, and you pick up items to refill your health. And you're trying to go and destroy the baddie. I don't want to give too much away, but it's a really fun game that you, like I said, it's kind of similar to Metroid, but I think there's nice improvements. It's a fun game. It's got good music. You have for about $18 loose and around $21 complete in box. And so those are the 5 games I recommend that are fairly decent prices, and you can find them pretty easily. Now, a +1, and this game can be had for less than $10 complete, is Shanghai. If you like puzzle games or mahjong style games, this one is a lot of fun. You're just matching tiles, trying to eliminate all of them on the screen, but it's got really good music. It even has FM sound, so if it's 1 or 2 players, it's like I said, it's cheap to be had. If you like puzzle games and card games, mahjong stuff, I think you'd like this. Good graphics, good music, well worth the time. But I want to add one more, and this one's kind of out of the price range because loose it's about $25. But Castle of Illusion for the Master System. I enjoy this one a lot more than the Genesis version. The controls are better, and I think the graphics are even better. It's an 8-bit title, but I still prefer it to the 16-bit counterpart. Great game. Complete in box, it's about $75, but like I said, loose, you can get it for about $25. And this is, if you have the extra money, you're not worried about it, this is a good one to pick up. But there's my 5 +1 plus another one that's outside of that range. But Master System is a console that doesn't really get a lot of the attention and appreciation that I think it really deserves. It was overshadowed by the NES, and I think it's starting to get a little bit more of the light. So help the light and the attention that it deserves. So, spread the word. Look into some games where you have to play through emulation, buddy, however you can do it. I didn't grow up with a Master System. I didn't know anybody that had a Master System growing up. And I don't know, I was somewhat aware of it because the Ninja was the first game for the Master System I picked up. And I picked it up because I got an adapter for my Game Gear. And tested it out, and it worked. I was like, hey, cool. And then I forgot about it. And that was in the late 90s. And then a few years ago, actually somebody was playing Ghostbusters. I was like, man, I loved that game on the Commodore 64. And so I was like, I need to get a Master System and get Ghostbusters because this version looks so much cooler. And it's all history from there. I've got over 170 games for the Master System. Continuing to collect for it, the Game Gear, the Sega Mark III, the SG-1000. So all Sega's 8-bit entries I've been collecting for over the last few years. It's really neat, really underappreciated. Some really good games on there. And there was a list of 5 + 1 plus another one that you can have a lot of fun with and not have to break the bank. And there's not too many of those breaking the banks games in the Master System library. Most of the games can be had loose for less than $60. And there's only a handful loose that command more than that. And even complete in box, there's not a ton. There's maybe a dozen or so that are over $100. Over $60, over $100, a dozen or so. Not a lot. And then when you include the PAL region, there's only about 113 games released in the US. There's a lot more games. And I might do a follow-up video about 5 PAL region games that I've got that would be good starters. But thanks again for stopping in. Keep on mastering. And I'll put a link in below for 8-Bit Boy's YouTube channel. Go check him out. And he does weekly Sega Master System challenge games. And if you want to get involved with that, follow him on Twitter.